Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday yet again. Can you believe Thanksgiving is over and Christmas is already upon us? At least the shopping haul is, or the shopping propaganda. I hope you had a wonderful, 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 wonderful holiday weekend doing whatever it is you do, celebrating whether you did or didn't. I hope you enjoyed your family and your friends and all your activities of rests and fun and leisure and everything in between. For sure, I really, really do hope that that is the case. Now, today, just as I was about to record, I heard this really, really classic song in my head from my childhood, my church childhood, that you may or may not even know if you're not churchy like me or have those roots. And I'm not even sure if I could find this on the tube to post, because it's just one of those classics that I'm not even sure if it was recorded properly. But it's called Brand New Life. And I just heard the woman that used to sing it in the choir that I love. Shout out to the Wings of Harmony from my and that's connected to this. Oh wow, it always comes together, because I know I read my tea bag already, which I'll share in a minute. But shout out to the Wings of Harmony that used to sing all around the tri-state area, particularly South Jersey. And they used to frequent my church quite a bit. It was a collaborative choir that many of the members were actually from my home church, which shout out Mount Olive Baptist Church in Magnolia, New Jersey. Like, I definitely pay homage to my roots in every way, shape, and form. I always will, and I always have, and I always will in my own way. But the song Brand New Life, it goes a little bit like this. I moved from my old house, and I moved from my old friends, and I moved from my old way of strife. Thank God I moved out to a brand new life. And the woman that used to sing that, man, she used to tear the house down. The choir too, for sure, but she just had this range that was just unreal. And they would sing, "Can't you see I'm a new man? Don't you know I'm a new man? And one day I'll live in that new land. Thank God I moved out to a brand new life." Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The tea bag today says unity is the way of grace and harmony. And remember, I said shout out the Wings of Harmony. So it always comes together. And I read my tea bag well before I heard that song, and I didn't bridge the correlation until just now in this moment. So in terms of the song, as we are in a full moon energy right now, we're releasing a lot of the old man. And what does that always do but leave more room for the new? Whether you're releasing by way of physical energy, extra baggage emotionally, psychologically, maybe cleansing your closet, maybe cleansing from all the turkey and stuff, maybe doing a little detox from all the turkey and stuffing and macaroni and cheese you ate over the weekend, or maybe you still got some for lunch. I don't know what you do. But definitely there's a clearing that's happening. And I would say in that regard, right after the Thanksgiving holiday, it's interesting that we moved into a full moon, which, you know, aside from the fact that a lot of people get back to the hustle and bustle today on Monday, you still have an opportunity to maybe even release some of the extra energy that you kind of picked up through social exchanges this weekend, between family and friends and just moving around and about. So definitely take full advantage of it. Give yourself permission, as I like to say, to rest as much as you possibly can during this cycle. Allow yourself moments of solitude and peace and quiet, if at all possible, to allow your inner being to speak to you, because there are things that are coming up internally right now, messages and sorts that are in fact being affirmed by external signs and signals, but nothing is going to speak more clearly than your inner light at this time. So the only way to truly hear it, because it's a still small voice, the only way to really hear it is to listen up, whether that be to eliminate some outside noise or internal noise for that matter, or to put yourself in an environment where you can hear in surround sound, i.e. meditation, prayer, or just peace and quiet. Take a moment, just a moment, if at all possible, today of all days, for sure. All right, so I hope you are, again, just enjoying life in the holiday season. Here's the Two of Wands, some plan of action, or intention, or being at a place where you desire to put something into action or into play. Oh, okay. All right, we're getting it going today. All right, let's see. Do I want to? And here's that inner voice, right? And here's thank you, Spirit. This is the dive within, going within to engage that inner light, to hear that inner voice, to even submit to the guidance that, can be intangible. It comes from an intangible source in many ways, but it speaks through you. The compass is functional through your physical being. And you get to hear that, of course, as I said, in moments of solitude, as the hermit indicates, not necessarily being isolated per se, but reverencing moments of peace and quiet and perhaps solitude, to hear that voice, to see perhaps a way forward where it may not be so clear in a physical way, in a physical form, from a physical expression. And then we have the Two of Wands here, which is someone, again, that's kind of taking inventory, overlooking the territory that he is embarking upon, or that's, that he has the potential to expand into. And holding that world, it's almost like I'm feeling it as like seeing the difference between how small you thought the world was based on projections and just, I would say, releasing small world mentalities. Let's keep it simple in that regard. And seeing just how vast the possibilities truly are, and then allowing that passion with new perspective to be expanded even more grander. And then here it comes with the Ace of Wands, the materialization of the inspiration according to how you were willing to be open to receive it. So this is a new passion, feeling energized in some new way by way of your purpose, or just what makes you feel enthusiastic about life. It could be inspiration that comes from in an unsuspecting way. You just sitting there having your cup of tea, thinking you just, taking a moment, and here you go. You just got a whole aha moment that not only gives you a new enthusiasm for whatever it is you're planning ahead for, but it gives you an even grander, a more expanded perspective. It lights a fire unto your passion, as if, it wasn't fiery enough. And with the Hermit card, it's so much more grounding than just like, impulsive passion, you know, like a big idea that's here today, going tomorrow type of thing, or something you feel energized to do in the moment, but it's not sustainable. The Hermit card in the center of it all is far more grounding to say that it's purpose driven. You know, it has a purpose. It has, because Virgo energy with the Hermit card is all about the reduction of the fluff, you know, just getting down to the facts and figures, what matters, taking inventory, like being very intentional about the process and even the practice of perhaps the exertion of this passion. So like, again, it's not just like flying off the seat of your pants because you got a bright idea. Virgo energy with the Hermit card is making it make sense, you know, very earth grounded. So I like this. Okay. We're seeing how this fits, you know, given we're in this full moon vibe, but I wonder how this plugs in. Okay. Another ace. We've been getting a lot of aces in small doses of cards lately, which I think is powerful. It's like just saying that the spiritual presence is here and it's profound. You know, only thing you really have to do is just be open to receiving it. It's like it's in the atmosphere. You know, like I said, brand new life, full card. Moving, putting something into action, in transit. This is just a completely new step and perhaps just even a new outlook on your experience of life, perhaps even the potential that you possess, or a new spin on an old potential, an old inspiration, something that you've been kind of maybe planning in the works for a while now, maybe, you know, with the Two of Wands, and you've kind of had a really solid focus on the direction that you wanted to go or that you want to go. And here comes something that's just going to just blow it out the water in a good way, though. And still, even still with the Ace of Swords, that kind of solidifies the grounding aspect of it, like how solid and secure and stable it is. Almost like I feel like the encouragement is to allow yourself to be consumed by your passion in the purest way at this time. Don't be afraid to kind of follow it where it may lead with the Fool card, because this is not full energy as in, you know, foolishness, you know what I mean? Like doing something unfounded, ungrounded, without insight, without planning, because it's solidifying that the planning has already, you know, you've been constructing a plan perhaps for some time now. You know, it's just been very focused, maybe even having a bit of a tunnel vision at some point about it. And now that idea is being expanded beyond what you have contained it to be from an internal perspective, and then the proof of it all, maybe even the resource in a very physical way, is now coming to incite the creativity of the whole of the vision. The Ace of Swords is again grounding divine perspective and clarity, that vision from a higher mind, you know, not just something small, up close and personal. You know, this is inspiration that is secure. Like you can hang your hat, literally your crown. You can hang your crown on this intel, you know, even though it might seem to come out of nowhere. As I said, you just going about your day, you know, starting this new week off in a certain kind of way, looking to have a new outlook, a fresh perspective. And then perhaps even in the midst of that as well, relenting to the call and this full moon energy to take some time to rest, or maybe haven't had that time over the weekend and the holiday to rest and rejuvenate and consider the aspects of healing that may still be in process in one way, shape, or form. And if not healing in the sense of like anything dramatic, you know, because everybody's not necessarily healing from trauma per se, but just some mendings in the sense of your perspective and your way of thinking. You know, again, we're talking about a transition with the song, it says, I moved from my old house, I moved from my old friends, I moved from my old way of strife, and I think she even talks about, can't you see I'm a new man? Don't you know? Yeah, I think somewhere in that song, in another verse, she talks about having a new mind or a new outlook or something like that. And this is like the submission to allowing this divine intel, this new vision, a new like a makeover of the mind to take place, like surrendering to it, and with passion for it, not like a surrender as if, you know, it's more submission than it is surrender, because it's not like you feel like you have to do it. It's with choice, with the Two of Wands and with the Fool card. It's having the opportunity to make this decision and taking it willfully, joyfully, even to some degree, like being happy to embark upon whatever this new journey may be. And resting along the way, knowing that it's a process of sorts, but not the Four of Swords card here is telling me that even with the enthusiasm of the Ace of Wands and the incitement of the Ace of Swords, you're still willing to allow the process to be organically. You're not forcing anything, you're not pushing the issue, you're not overworking yourself even, you're not putting any more pressure on yourself to manifest any faster than what the divine is co-creating with you to do. And sometimes that absolutely means that we relent to the cycles of the cosmic order, such as now, where rest is absolutely necessary, because there's some downloads, maybe even that's the case, like some downloads that you're going to be receiving in your restful state, whether it be meditation, some space of mindfulness, or actually sleeping, maybe receiving a dream, okay? Because sometimes the ancestral and angelic realms absolutely communicate through our sleep state. And it's like you're being cornered here while you're sitting here resting by this new inspiration and this vision and intel. So it's like you almost need to relent to rest if you find some resistance to that posture, so that you can be rejuvenated and given the proper intel and forward march information, so that you can really step out in that Two of Wands energy with the plan that works, not just doing the same thing because, with your limited view, again, that limited world perspective, limitations to some degree, great or small. It's like Spirit wants to expand your possibilities, will give you even more of a canvas, a terrain to conquer. Yeah, with the Fool card, definitely. Like maybe you thought you only had a beauty consultant business. And now it's like, well, actually, it's also part creative counseling and psychological counseling and spiritual, like it's all these different components now that you see that are a part of the whole, where you were just looking from your perspective of what you have to offer in real time, or what you even feel comfortable in, because there's that. Sometimes we limit ourselves by our own comforts. And it's like, no, you're showing you how much more capable you are to embody more and express more, and therefore infusing the vision and empowering the vision to do more and to have a greater impact, So you gotta allow yourself to go with the flow of the cosmic cycles, because sometimes we can push forward, like I said, and I think in the moon message a couple days ago, that we sometimes we're coming off of that energy of a new moon, where we've been pushing ahead and doing so much and starting new projects. We still are operating in that ambition, and we want to keep it going. We don't want to lose the momentum, But sometimes it's like, okay, now you need to take a pause because there's something else that you need to see before you do more. How sometimes you can. I know this has happened to me for sure, that you could go powering through a project only to get to the end and realize, dang, I wish I would have incorporated this before I finished, or I wish, you got to go back and correct something, or add something that you could have had, or that could have made the process even easier to bring to completion before you finished, but you were so insistent on the finish line that you didn't have time to stop. You didn't have the will to pause. So this is just, again, yet a reminder that it's okay to take a break. And this is the Seven of Pentacles. Investments, to me, that's saying like your investments are safe. It came out kind of janky, but I'll take it. Your investments are safe. You've been planting good seeds continuously, insistently, persistently, and the nature of those seeds is not going to change if you take a moment to enjoy the harvest as it is just now. And I can speak for that personally, because over the weekend, well, just yesterday, it wasn't even that long ago, but it was the weekend, Sunday, I was at a birthday party, and it was for a friend of mine's son, a good friend of mine since high school, actually. Friend of mine's son had a birthday party, and then it turned into like a little after soiree at her home. She has a new home that I hadn't been to yet, and at first I was a little bit resistant, like, first of all, considerate of her, because I know she works early on Monday. So I'm like, oh, no, you coming off the holiday, you about to get back into it. We don't have to do this now. We can wait another time. And she's like, no. I don't have adult play dates very often, come on over. And then my selfish aspect was also me wanting to come home and prepare my Sacred Soul Session message that I do every Sunday as well. And I talked about this in that, if you watched it, but I in the back of my mind was just feeling how unprepared I was to record that, and feeling like if I was out, I knew we would, because of how we are, I knew that it wasn't going to be like, just come over, see the house, and we'd kick it for a bit and that's it. Of course, it was nighttime by the time I left and stuff like that. But the whole span of our experience, from beginning to end, from the party to her house to, everything in between, was everything that I needed personally. Like it wasn't about the formalities of what I felt needed to get done. Like even that Virgo energy with the Hermit card, wanted to get the work done, stay focused, stay committed, stay grounded, stay in the schedule, afraid that I would miss the mark and miss my commitment, when what I needed, almost an insurgence of energy and passion and even a new perspective in the conversations that we were having, is what actually carried me into the message itself. Otherwise, it may have been something else different. It may have been something different, of course, but it sent me into a channeling of a message based on the conversations and the exchanges I was having with other people that to me spoke more profoundly than anything that I could have written and planned for, because it was real time, real energy that I could relate to, and that I've even been speaking to in the readings, even until now, about this pause for the cause, to allow spirit to kind of do its thing within you, and trust in the process in some regard, knowing that, even with this great buildup of ambition and having a clear vision, a clear perspective, and being excited about bringing it to life, still being okay with living life in the meantime, So again, like going over to her house, and it was just such a great time. I won't beat it down, but this is us. I mean, we weren't like drinking. I had a Slurpee or whatever, but even still, it was a celebratory exchange because it was something that we both needed, just a release to be able to express yourself in a safe space and exchange ideas and exchange inspirations and encourage one another. Like if you don't have a circle where you feel that vitality during and after the exchange, and I certainly encourage you to reevaluate where you are and perhaps call it in if it's not. This is really that observation here with the Page of Swords, and as I'm speaking of it in real time, to observe where your vitality is sourced from in this time, what you're investing in, what is being invested into you when you're submitting yourself to certain environments and with certain people and doing certain things. We weren't indulging in libations. Not that there's anything wrong with that, for sure, but it was just as much of an uplifting experience, me drinking a Slurpee and her drinking a tea, as any wine or champagne could have offered. It was just pure energy, pure energetic exchange. So, and again, to that point of this moment of rest and rejuvenation and reflection, a lot of that is on account, particularly this new moon, full moon in Gemini, is on account of allowing ourselves to be receivers of a divine intel of truth that's going to absolutely lead us and guide us to what will make our process of creation more efficient, more effective, more impactful, ultimately so that we can work smarter and not harder. And in many regards, it hasn't been necessarily on account of what we plan for or even what we've put into action, certainly not even our potential or what we know, our knowledge or wisdom. Some of it has just been on account of our surroundings, of the energy that we have connected ourselves to, and there being a call for disconnection or a realignment, a diffusion in some way, shape, or form of our energy, to decide like what seeds are well planted, for a prosperous harvest, and which ones don't yield fruit. People, places, and things internally and externally, because it's not always about the external. It's more so about the things that we tell ourselves or the truths that we engage in or invest in ourselves that sprout the most, you know what I mean? Or bear the most weeds, either way you look at it. And to that point, given all that synergy, of almost an observation of where you're expressing your energy and intertangling it or commingling and all that good stuff, where you're being nourished from, puts you in the Queen of Wands position to take all of that intel and then create something with it, to transmute it where there's a call for there to be so, to release it, to transform it. Like that wand with the Queen of Wands can do anything that's needed to build, really to build anything. That's the interesting thing about the Queen of Wands. And you see it's a derivative of the Seven of Pentacles, because it really is a matter of whatever you put your energy toward, what your passion is invested in. Ace of Wands, which is why it's important that it's pure, of a pure form, that is the manifestation itself. Where you project your energy, your focus, your attention, let alone your actual love, your enthusiasm, your ambition. Like the saying goes, what is it? Where attention flows. Something about attention and something growing. Where attention flows is where something grows. I don't know. I know you know what I'm saying, and the connection is right here. Like what you are continuously sowing into is what becomes the reality. And that's including even in those restful moments, realizing that you don't always have to be actively doing something to be creating. The energy projects beyond your physical manipulation, just by way of your passion, what you are invested in and connected to, ambitious about, confident in. I think I talked about that too, about what you feel confident to do is how small or contained sometimes the vision can be, and the outlook, and then the action behind the manifestation. This is someone who's not limited by confidence and courage, like really that feels like she can do anything. Like anything you put in front of her. Oh, you want me to be a this? I'll be a this. You want me to be a that? I'll be a that. And can do it all in some magnificent regard. Of course, meaning that it's connected to a pure passion, like not. Yes, the Queen of Wands for sure can dibble and dabble. She can be a Jane of many trades, in some regards, but the ones that she truly feels a connection to, an excitement for, are the ones that she excels in. And I feel like that, whether you're a fire sign or not, because of course this is fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, by nature of the card, but that fire within us all to create, to express our identity, to pursue higher ideals, to be courageous and bold in our expressions, unapologetically. We feel most uninhibited to do that in the areas that we feel most confident and secure. And as I said, it's like Spirit is wanting to expand that perspective of even yourself, where you thought you were a one-trick pony. It's like, oh no, you actually do a lot of other things very, very well. And even if you're not necessarily master of all, somehow they all can come together to fuel that ultimate passion and force within you, and make it even more impactful and inspirational than what you intended it for it to be, in your single-minded view. So this is good. It's a good way to start a Monday, I'll tell you that. So much potential for a powerful exertion of power, as a matter of fact. I love it. There's something that was transformative over the weekend, I would say. Maybe perhaps given a lot of people either were or were not around other friends. We're each other's best mirror, that reflection one to another. And maybe being around other people, as it worked for me, reflected back some strengths, and maybe even perhaps some opportunities, which opportunities, i.e. weaknesses, which, is never really a weakness per se, but any place for improvement, or to just kind of buff up, or to take some deeper reflection, is just as empowering as being reflected your strengths. Like to see, okay, I do this very well, and this is where I have an opportunity to get better, or maybe to release it altogether. Maybe you don't need to do that thing at all. Maybe you've been plugging away with the Two of Wands energy. Maybe you're leaving behind something that you once thought was the way to go for something of a higher value, is the expression with the Two of Wands. So maybe being in the presence of other people more reflectively in a physical way allows you to take away some wisdom, some truth, some clarity, some fresh inspiration, some new passion. And I say to that, hold on to it, harness it, cultivate it keenly, but don't feel like you have to be in pressure to activate it in any overly pronounced way, because that's a quick way to fizzle out the fire of new passion and inspiration, feeling like, okay, I got this, now I gotta go. Be with it, during this time. Allow it to expand in your being, get confident, even curious about it, to see all aspects. With the Hermit card, all aspects of how it truly fits into what you already have going for yourself. Because everything now is just added value, whether it be affirmed strength or reflected opportunity. It's just adding value to your own awareness, your self-awareness, so that you can continue to magnify your supreme self, which is the ultimate intention above all. No matter how you express that physically, actively, as long as you're intentional about cultivating it, that's that's the mastery here. That's the best step, you know. That's the most important step. All right, let's see. And, you know, with the Hermit card, not saying that I'm necessarily advocating for this, because I can't even say that it's me 100%, although I'm learning, you know, to balance the energy more. But with the Hermit card, there is the, when I just got a vision to or something, when I think of the Hermit card and the quintessential Virgo, Beyoncé. But with the Hermit card, it kind of puts you in the space to want to almost perfect the thing, you know, to master it, whether it be self or whatever you have your heart and mind set on to create. You can get almost a bit obsessive to some degree to want to have it in a perfect form to express or to present before you allow it to be. I feel like there's a balance here with that, I mean, if that should come from, you know, you do you, for sure. But the balance here is not to be so obsessive with perfection. It's just to be content in the process of purification, so to speak. Letting the inspiration be in its purest form, untainted, you know, maybe stripping it down from anything that's inorganic and allowing it to be truly grounded, you know, for that harvest, that ultimate harvest you're looking to present. But not in the sense that you feel it's inadequate if it doesn't meet a certain standard per se, but just being, you know, a hermit in the Virgo aspect is okay with taking the time to cultivate, you know, to really allow the thing to, you know, very focused on allowing the thing to be in its most excellent expression. Not perfection, but with excellence. That's a different connotation than perfection per se. And leading to that point, I'm thinking about Beyoncé, because all over the timeline today was her Renaissance movie premiere, which she looked exquisite in her silver dress and her platinum hair, you know, and like I said, she's like the quintessential Virgo sun, because we all know that she don't pop out unless it's perfection, at least from our view, you know. But it's just that she has that Virgo spirit of dedication to hard work and studying her craft and learning every aspect of it and how it gets to be expressed through herself, and knowing her lane and, you know, building in that regard and not, you know, really letting anybody else dictate what that gets. Definitely after so many years, you know, really following her path almost to a formula at this point. And that's the dedication. And here with the Queen of Wands energy, that's the fire behind the drive. She's doing what she loves to do, what she, I'm sure, feels born to do. And when we're working in that vein, we do become unstoppable. We do become the queen bee or the kingpin, you know, in our own regards, because that passion is a certain type of fuel when it comes from a divine nature, an internal mechanism that is just, it's relentless, it's unstoppable, it's its own thing. And when you don't feel like you compare to anything else, and you don't need to, you definitely don't compete. You don't have to, you know, and eliminating that aspect of it all, even competing against yourself, I would say to some degree, when you eliminate that spirit and allow it to just be pure life force fuel, it leaves you open to be, you know, a conduit for something that is even more is beyond you, you know, bigger than what you could have done with the work of your own hands. So let's see. Yeah, but and then Renaissance, you know, to the point of it all, this is moving forward, and there it is with the Magician card. But to the point of it all, you know, Renaissance also definitely speaks of, you know, Well, I mean, I can't actually say what it actually means in real time now that I'm thinking about it, but the connotation that I always have with that word is just doing something new, like revolutionary, moving in like when you think of the Harlem Renaissance and how there was an emergence of new art forms and new expressions of music and poetry and literature and even fashion, just completely organic and unique expressions of the spirit of the time, the culture that was prevalent in that moment, but allowing that energy to kind of fuse through the beings themselves and in the unique expressions that they were themselves, that each artist and writer and musician, had a different story to tell in whatever art form they did so, and with the Renaissance and the term and by way of Beyonce, I don't really know why she chose that, perhaps because she's been a bit of a Renaissance movement all in her own from beginning to end to some degree, or maybe she has an outlook of how life gets to change for her, or maybe she feels altogether new. Like I said, like she doesn't really have to answer to anyone or anything. She's kind of in a space of her own creatively at this time, and having maintained that space for a long time, it's like almost become classic in some sense, and perhaps that's the inspiration for us all to cultivate our own classic expression of life force, where it doesn't really matter what is similar or what is different even about ourselves, because it's coming from a unique perspective and it's divined by the experience of the time that we're in. It's like it's undeniable. It has an impact that's undeniable. So I hope that makes sense when I go actually look at what Renaissance means, because now I'm actually going to look for sure. I only know the expression of it as I see it, but I actually don't know the definition of the word. And for me, 11 words, that's interesting. But hopefully I tapped into it a little bit, a little bit. I don't know. But then we got the Two of Pentacles here. This is some type of management or balancing of expectations. That's what that is. Managing your expectations. Yep. And I would say even maintaining, because when you see the Three of Wands, for me, especially starting with the Two of Wands, having put effort, done the work, forged a plan, produced a plan, I should say, being open to the mastery of that process, being open to divine alignment and infusion of new energy and new inspiration, new intel, being a yes to new possibilities and starting fresh, perhaps in ways that may even be foreign to what you've been doing up until this point. Also relenting to the cycles of life and willing to rest and also, work hard as much as you play hard, enjoy the fruits of your labor, looking forward. Oh, I didn't even really get into this, right? The Chariot card with the Magician. How can we, I guess that's kind of the mastery. That's the manifestation of the mastery that I was talking about, though, with the Magician card. Always having a positive outlook forward, a forward movement. Reinvention, I would say. Maybe that's the energy of the Renaissance with Beyonce, that she's always been able to it's like she has a formula, she has an identity for sure, but she's also been able to somehow be relevant to the time and almost reinvent herself in some regard, but still being righteous to her own expression. Like still holding the integrity of what just is Beyonce, like not out here trying to do freaking folklore, or even, I mean, she does have gospel roots for sure, but not necessarily, you ain't never heard Beyonce do a whole gospel album. Maybe it's coming. Maybe that's what she, that's a forward perspective. Who knows? But it's like she finds a way to inspire and to connect in her own organic way, still staying relevant to the present moment, but not deferring to trend per se, or entirely either, like not quite selling her soul. We're talking about creatively here. Whatever your opinions may be, I have no way in on that per se, but not selling herself creatively to fit any, to transition with any particular trend, so there's that. Like the Magician card is literally being able to manipulate energy in such a way, in a high vibrational sense, that always keeps you current, moving forward, doing what's in the know and what's next, on trend, even when you're not trendy or trending per se, because she's not always trending, but she certainly is always on trend in some regard. Literally someone that holds the keys to their own creativity unapologetically, boldly, and courageously. That's all this energy here. When you live in a space such as that, you can most certainly have high expectations, great expectations. And the management piece here, I say, with the Two of Pentacles, is more so balancing than it is an imbalance or an instability. To have high expectations, but knowing that you still live in a very physical world. So as great as perhaps even your expectations may be on yourself, to allow yourself to relent to that process, almost seeing it as an eternal devotion to some degree. This always being willing to set the bar high, but also being submissive to the fruition of that outcome. Again, being a very physical one. Spiritual and physical energies co-creating here with passion, that fuel of passion where many of us is like, we want it now. Like, what is that? Who's that? Veruca. What was her name? Veruca Salt. I want it now, Daddy. Managing that energy, still being very entitled for the things that we have manifested, that we've sown for, that we have co-created with the universe to bring to life, that we've prayed for, that we've visualized, that we've even worked for in a physical form, and just allowing it to be through us, not to be overpowered by the process of waiting, or the process of the process itself, because sometimes that can be the delay more than anything, not being in the flow of the organism, as we allow it to flow through us, in spirit and in truth. So I hope that makes sense. Anything more I need to say? Because I'm actually in good time today. I feel a little bit like mild, maybe I'm a little bit tired. I don't know. But my energy is like very like, today. 3 of Wands, definitely something coming in, whether it perhaps is that first step out onto this new journey that you've been eagerly anticipating, or it could be the new energy coming into you by all the ways that we've been talking about. And I would say that with everything that with all the messages that have been coming up lately, the reason for the call for a rest and rejuvenation, respectively, is because it's going to be quite a bit to manage with the Two of Pentacles. That's management card, managing your own energetic force, managing what you've harvested. I don't see that as like a lower vibrational lack of resources. It's like literally having to manage the prosperity of the manifestations that now are here in real time. It's like you called it in. Spirit is like, universe is like, God is like, here you go. You know, here you are. It's all yours. Now, what will you do with it? That's all on you now. Well, not all on you, because it's still co-creative. That's why this infinity sign here, that you still have, as I spoke about yesterday, like a co-pilot. You still have a co-CEO to some degree, you know what I mean? Or you CEO, or you have a CEO and your CFO, or however the two align to make sense to you and whatever you're establishing. But you're never quite alone, but certainly empowered to make powerful decisions, most definitely, you know, with the support of Supreme Source. And as long as you're willing to continue to tap into that inner light, that inner guidance, allow that intangible force to guide you from your inner compass, you know, sky is truly the view, as they say, not the limit. So definitely hope that you have a prosperous week ahead. Don't get finessed out here. Also, that gives me those vibes too. Don't get finessed feeling like you got to prove yourself to buy up the stores and get all the deals and all the presents. Your presence is a present in this universe, and for sure within your family dynamic, your friend dynamic, at your workplace, Pollyanna, and so on and so forth. So don't put any more pressure on yourself than is necessary, because every time you show up in any space, being your most authentic self, that is in fact a gift of the divine, and to whomever you are impacting and making an impression upon. So definitely see yourself in that regard and walk with that confidence and that boldness. Happy shopping and all that good stuff as well. Don't let me damper the mood, for sure. Enjoy yourself, enjoy the spirit of the time, but just in the essence of what it truly means to be in joy, to cultivate this spirit of joy and peace, you know, and goodwill toward all men. That's something that's invaluable and even intangible. You couldn't capsulize that into a gift if you tried. So just be it. All right. Have a great week. Until next time, I'll leave you with peace.